Good morning, my dear students. I welcome all of you to today's science class. And today we are going to revise the chapter Cell. Let us begin with how cell was discovered and what is cell. A cell is the basic structural, functional and biological unit of all living organisms. The word cell in Latin means small room. A cell is the smallest unit of life that can replicate independently. Robert Hooke was the first person who observed cell under the microscope in 1665. He observed thin slice of cork under a microscope and he saw honeycomb-like structure. And as the structure was like small rooms, he termed the structure as cell. And this was how cell was discovered. There are a number of cells present in living organisms' body. There are also organisms where only one cell is present. So depending on the number of cells present in different organisms, we can classify the organisms into unicellular or single-celled organism and multicellular organisms. In multicellular organisms, there are billions and trillions of cells. And if we take the example of a tall tree or a large animal, we will find that there are trillions of cells. A human body also has trillions of cells which are very different in shape, size and functions. Since human body has many cells, it is multicellular organisms and all the functions of the body is done by groups of cells which have special functions. They perform particular functions. Now let us look at the shape of the cells. Most cells are round, spherical or elongated. Some are spindle shaped, which are long and pointed at both the ends. Look at the picture. Smooth muscle cell, blood cell, nerve cell, ovum, sperm, bone cell, fat cells. So these are all cells which are present in human body and other animals. You'll find that the shape of all the cells are different. Smooth muscle cells are elongated and tapering at the ends. Blood cell is circular in shape and the shape of the nerve cell is very different from the other cells. It is branched and long and it is the longest cell present in the body. So we can say that the shape of the cells are different. It depends on the function that they performed. Now let's look at the size of cells. The size of cells can range from a very small size to a large size. Say, for example, from a micrometer to a few centimeter large. Smallest cell is found in bacteria and is just 0.1 to 0.5 micrometer long. It is very small. The largest cell is an ostrich egg. This is the reason why most of the cells can only be seen under the microscope. Now let us understand the cell structure and function. We know that cells are the basic structural and functional unit of life. The cells combine together to form tissues. The cells which perform similar functions will form the tissues. The tissues in turn form organs. specialized tissues group together to form organs, and organs perform particular functions such as respiration, digestion, circulation, and the organs combine together to form the organ system. So the digestive system is formed, the respiratory system is formed, the circulatory system is formed, and there are many other systems in the body of an animal. Now let's look at the component of the cell. So what are the main components of the cell? All cells is composed of cell membrane, cytoplasm, and nucleus. Cell membrane's main function is to separate cell from one another, and it is the outermost layer of the cell. It also separates the medium from the environment. It is called selectively permeable because it allows only selective materials to move in and out of the cell. Cytoplasm is another component of cell, which is a jelly-like substance and is present between the cell membrane and nucleus. It provides a base or a platform for all the biological activities that is taking place inside the cell. All the activities is happening in the cytoplasm. The third main component of cell is nucleus. Nucleus acts as control center of activities. It contains chromosomes, and the cytoplasm and nucleus forms protoplasm, the living material inside the cell. Nucleus is also called the control room of the cell, as it controls all the activities which is going on inside the cell. Chromosomes, which are present in the nucleus, is responsible for the transmission of hereditary characters from the parent to the offspring. Chromosome contains genes. Genes are the units of inheritance in living organisms which transfer the hereditary character from parents to offspring. Genes of parents combine in different ways to produce characteristics in their offsprings. Now let us learn about the different structures present inside the cell. Those structures are called cell organelles, and it is actually the cell organelle which is performing all the functions inside the cell. It is because of the cell organelle that the cell is able to perform all the functions efficiently. There are different cell organelles in the cell. They are endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, Golgi bodies, mitochondria, vacuole, and plastids. So these cell organelles are present almost in all types of cells, that is the plant cell and the animal cell. Let us now understand the function of the endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum is a network of channels made of membrane. It is of two types: smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum is responsible for synthesis of lipids, and rough endoplasmic reticulum is responsible for synthesis of protein, because ribosomes are attached to rough endoplasmic reticulum, and so it gets the name as rough endoplasmic reticulum. Ribosomes are present in the cell as attached to the endoplasmic reticulum or even in free state. Ribosomes are the sites where protein synthesis takes place. Another cell organelle called Golgi bodies are responsible for secretion of enzymes, hormones, and protein. Mitochondria. one of the most important cell organelle present in the cell. It is also called the powerhouse of cell because it is in the mitochondria that the process of respiration takes place and glucose is broken down to produce energy. Since mitochondria produces energy, so it is called powerhouse of cell. And this energy is provided to the cell and the body for various activities. Vacuoles keep the cell turgid and store many substances. Plastids are present only in plant cell. There are two main types of plastids, that is chromoplast and leucoplast. Chloroplast is the most important type of chromoplast. Chromoplast contains colored pigments and is responsible for the color of the flowers, fruit, leaf. Leucoplast are colorless and they store food and various substances. Chloroplast is one of the important chromoplast present in plant cell because it contains the pigment chlorophyll, which is responsible for the preparation of food for plants. Now let's look into the difference between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cells have DNA clumped in an area, but there is no organized nucleus. The nucleus is not well defined, as they do not have the nuclear membrane surrounding the nucleus. Eukaryotic cells, on the other hand, have true nucleus and is well organized, as it has a nuclear membrane around it. Prokaryotic cells do not have any organelles except ribosomes and sometimes mitochondria also. Eukaryotic cells usually have organelles like Golgi bodies, lysosomes, endoplasmic reticulum and many other cell organelles which we have already discussed. Prokaryotic cells are smaller in size, whereas eukaryotic cells are larger in size. Examples of prokaryotic cells are bacteria and blue-green algae. Examples of eukaryotic cells are plant and animal cell. Now let us discuss the similarity between the plant cell and the animal cell with the help of this diagram. So as you can see that the main component of the cell, that is cell membrane, and then the cytoplasm and nucleus is present both in plant cell and animal cell. So here in the animal cell, this is the nucleus and then the cytoplasm and the cell membrane or the plasma membrane. So these three components are common in both the cells. You can also see that the different organelles like Golgi apparatus, ribosomes and then the endoplasmic reticulum are also common in plant and animal cells. Now what are the differences? The difference between the plant cell and animal cell is that plant cell have cell wall but animal cells do not have cell wall. Cell wall is absent in animal cell. Plant cell have large vacuoles but animal cells have small vacuole, or sometimes it may not be present in the animal cell. And the vacuole present in the plant cell occupies the central position, but if vacuole is present in animal cell, it will occupy the corner position. Mitochondria is present both in plant cell and animal cell, but the number of mitochondria present in plant cell and animal cell is different. In animal cells, the number is more. Now, if we look at the position of the nucleus in plant cell and in animal cell, we'll find that the nucleus of the plant cell is located at the corner, and in animal cell it occupies the central position. Then chloroplast is present in plant cell, but it is absent in animal cell. So these are some of the differences between plant cell and animal cell. So this is what we have in the chapter cell. I hope that all of you have understood the chapter. Thank you and have a great day.